What's going on, everybody? This is John Jake Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Realignment Dynasty here on NCAA 14 and featuring that college football revamp here today, man, as we possibly, depending on how things go against our matchup against North Texas, could be a doubleheader, and we could very well be wrapping up this regular season today, as the next two opponents that we have a combined 2 wins this entire season so far. We're getting towards the very end, right? So we'll checking out what our schedule's looking like. We got North Texas and we got UTSA taking on 2 separate teams from the Lone Star State, man. As North Texas, even though they are only 2-8, they got a really good offense. B+ overall in terms of offensive capabilities, but their defense has really held them back. One of the worst defensive teams in the entire country right now, sitting at 108 in the country. But North Texas is led by Isaiah Crocker, who is actually one of your custom guys in this series. You know, he is the starting quarterback of this North Texas squad. So could be really interesting to see how this first game ends up going. We should have some fun with this. I'm really excited about this game. Possibly a doubleheader if we can handle our business and, you know, do what we need to do in order to take care of things, right? So gonna be a fun episode, man. I hope you guys are ready for what's coming up next, and if you are, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you happen to be brand new. Let's hop onto this field, man, and let's see if we can do some things against this North Texas squad. I'll catch you guys there. Alright, boys, so we are out here starting with the giving the football away to North Texas. We'll see what Isaiah Crocker can do. The custom prospect starts it off with a nice toss over the middle of the field, gets it out to Max Stokes to begin this game. A nice crossing pattern that nearly ends up picking up a first down. As we plan on selling out for the run early, we got 8 guys in the box, but despite that, Jones is actually going to find a huge hole right through the middle of our defense. Jeremy Jones, even though we had 8 guys in the box, a 27-yard rush we end up giving up. You absolutely hate to see it. And early on, North Texas, they are actually going to get their way a little bit. They are moving the ball down the field pretty well. We'll see if our defense can go ahead and tighten up on this drive, as Crocker having all the time in the pocket, to be honest with you, and finds Matt Andrews eventually. And it's another first down for the Mean Green, as sets up a red zone opportunity for North Texas as they go over the middle to Nash. Nash able to get it inside the 10-yard line. And it's a goal line situation for North Texas, looking for an opening drive touchdown. They'll help them pull ahead of the number 4 ranked Michigan State Spartans, and sure enough, they will do just that as Jeremy Jones is going to run it into the end zone. Touchdown, Mean Green. And the number 4 team in America is going to find itself down early. And matter of fact, not only do we give up an opening drive touchdown, we also end up going 3-and-out on our next possession. So this offense comes right back out onto the field, and they are having their way early. They got to give North Texas credit. They put together a really good game plan to start this game. We got to go ahead and make some adjustments as Jones gets to the outside, but this time we read it like a book, as Jeremy Jones is going to get rocked in the backfield by Mike Scott, who comes up and makes the nice open field tackle. So now 2nd and 14 coming up, but Jones able to get to the outside, so they pick up all of that yardage back and then some. It's a first down for North Texas as they approach midfield for the 2nd time in this ball game, as they run it once again up the left-hand side. We had guys in the open field but can't make the tackle initially. It's nearly a first down there as well. This time, Calvin Daly, who had the rush. And now 3rd and inches coming. I'll expect them to run this football once again, as Crocker standing under center. Gonna go ahead. Yeah, it's a handoff to Daly, and Daly finds the running room necessarily in order to go ahead and pick up that first down, as that will make it another 1st and 10. Crocker dropping back, looking over the left-hand side to Andrews. The crazy thing is that they're not even like hitting us deep downfield. They are just really getting us with a depth of 1,000 cuts. Is now Jones gets to the outside. He's going to run to the right-hand side. Does run into Kenneth Wood, who eventually makes the tackle. But second down coming as we actually accidentally lock in on our one of our defensive linemen. But thankfully our defense comes through from a little bit of a different angle. It ends up being Isaiah Crocker's first incompletion of this game. So now third and short coming for North Texas as Crocker drops back, looks to the right-hand side, gets it out to Edwards, and Edwards is going to be forced out of bounds. But it is enough to move the sticks once again. Still just the second offensive drive for the Mean Green, but it's on 4 minutes and counting. They're putting together a really methodical drive. Looking to finish strong, but it's going to be intercepted. Harvey, he's got open space. One man left to beat, and the super dive cheese might have just saved a touchdown as Greg Harvey was able to get up in front. And that's huge for us because North Texas was driving downfield. So now let's see if our offense can finally get itself going. Still looking for our first down of the game, and we will finally get it here as Marcus Wiggins was open on that crosser right over the middle, that short crossing route. So 1st and 10 coming for the Michigan State Spartans as we'll get it out quickly to Mike Anderson on the slant and go. Mike Anderson was open on that slant, so we're going to get it to him early there. And it's nearly a first down. Should be able to pick it up here with Nelson Six. And Six is going to find a little bit of a hole, but North Texas surprisingly holding up pretty strong. I'm really surprised with how North Texas has been playing. They certainly do not look like a 2-8 football team. We are going to get everything that we want and then some in terms of actual competition. As now 2nd and 4 coming. Go try to hit him with the play action. We got some time in the pocket initially, but we rolled to the right hand side and we tried to get it out to Mike Anderson, but an inaccurate pass is going to make it uncatchable. And now we'll make it 3rd and 4. 5 wide set out on the field. Going to try to set up the bubble screen. Robertson gets some space on the outside, and it sets up the first red zone opportunity for the Michigan State Spartans, as that does end up wrapping up that first quarter of action. We find ourselves down 7-0, but maybe we can even up the score. So welcome back to the second quarter of action here as Gray will drop back to pass, looking for somebody to get open, and we had somebody in the back of the end zone, but again, an inaccurate ball is going to make it fall harmlessly to the ground. So now 3rd and 9. Go try to run a similar concept except from left to right. We'll see if we can get Gray to roll out, but it looks like nobody initially gets open. We have to take the sack, and we actually had to go ahead and settle for a field goal. So we still find ourselves down 7-3 at this point. Oh my God, I can't believe we did not make that tackle. Oh, that's tough. Jeremy Jones. We should have leveled this man into the turf, but instead it's an 8-yard gain as they continue to pound the ball down our throats here, but a quick pass ends up being incomplete. Might have been a little bit off schedule. So now 3rd and short as North Texas looking to run the football. Open hole, an easy first down for Jeremy Jones, as once again he picks up yet another 7 yards on the run. He's already approaching 100 yards rushing, and we still have an entire half of football left to play. Think about that. As now Crocker dropping back. He's looking, facing some pressure though, and finally we get to him. That will get him off the field, and now we'll see if our offense can go ahead and wake up a little bit, but that doesn't happen. Not only do we not score on our next possession, we have yet another 3 and out. We can't do anything on this drive, but Isaiah Crocker can. Daryl Nash with the diving play, and now in Spartan territory, needing our defense to really lock it up, but it's not looking good as we got some space on the outside. He outruns his blockers though. We were able to at least push him out of bounds. But for the second time today, Mean Green in the red zone, looking to lock it up. Jeremy Jones trying to toss play to the left. It ends up being brought down by Kenneth Wood. And it will force a 3rd and long. 3rd and 13. Crocker needs to make a play. Throwing over the middle of the field. Looking for Daryl Nash, but it falls harmlessly into the ground. So that will force them to take this field goal attempt. Looks like it's going to be about a 37-yard field goal. So should be nothing too crazy as the kick is up. And it's no good. It goes wide to the left. And our defense gets yet another stop. And make sure that this stays a 4-point game. So now our offense coming back out onto the field. We start with a play action here on 1st and 10 as Corey Ross is going to get his first stats in the box score. The 13-yard reception. We'll see if we can go back to him once again. It's just facing incredible pressure. Just North Texas is providing some complex looks. And I think it's just confusing us quite a bit, to be honest with you. So it does lead to 3rd and 9. Going to try to convert with the slant pattern. See if we can get somebody open downfield. Trying to throw to the left-hand side. And Mike Anderson tries to make the one-handed grab, but he can't pull it in. So once again, we had to punt the football away. But at the very least, we got North Texas to go 3 and out for a change. So with 2:30 left to play here in the first half, we have a chance to try to get some points on the board. And that was a frustration throw. Just didn't want to be patient anymore. Trying to make the big play downfield. And just didn't see Isaac Young step in there and make the play. As that is going to easily be intercepted, unfortunately. Thought we had the advantage on the out pattern. That just did not happen. So now with 2 minutes left to play here in this first half, we suddenly might see North Texas pull away a little bit before we go into the halftime locker room. This drive is going to be extremely huge in terms of how momentum is going to be. 3rd and short coming. Crocker going to go ahead, running up the middle of the field, gets it out to Daly. Calvin Daly doesn't find a lot of running room, but it is enough for the first down. Now, 1st and goal from 7-yard line. This time it actually being a pass play. And Andrews had a touchdown, but it's dropped. It's dropped in the end zone. You absolutely hate to see it. It's at least a 2nd and goal instead. And Wilson, Jeff Wilson, almost finishing the drive for the Mean Green, but downed inside the 1-yard line. So here we go. 3rd and goal. Everybody in and their mama by the goal line. Who's going to win at the battle up front? And North Texas does. Jeremy Jones just follows his lineman. And it's going to be a 14-3 lead for the Mean Green. So here we go now. 1 minute left to play in the first half. Gray looking over the middle. But it's going to be fumbled. And North Texas is going to recover. Just absolutely a terrible time right now to have a meltdown. Remember, this team is 2-8 coming into this game. I thought we might be able to possibly run up the score on them and maybe, just maybe, you know, get some backups in, make this a doubleheader and whatnot. But that's not happening. That is not happening right now. And now, serious trouble here. Really needing our defense to come through once again, even though it's a really tough spot, and Jones takes full advantage, stiff arming our defender into the next dimension. That stiff arm, absolutely nasty. And we give up yet another touchdown. It is absolutely quiet down here. So 35 seconds left to play here in the first half. We'll see if we can get anything going before we go into the locker room. And another costly turnover. We just can't get out of our own way right now as we finish the first half with 3 consecutive turnovers. You cannot make this up, and North Texas getting us in deep trouble. We're down by 3 scores at the half. Alright, so that first half was an absolute dumpster fire. We'll see if the second half does end up being anything better than what we witnessed as Nelson Sisk, he's going to get the second half going. And we haven't really used them much in the first half. Maybe we're going to have to lean on them in the second, but it's just a tough spot right now as we tried to go deep. And the crazy thing was, we had him open. We really did. That time, it just ends up being a costly overthrow. Now, we will get a little bit of help. We will bring them back a notch. So instead of it being on our side of the field, they're going to end up starting in North Texas territory. But man, really not what I wanted to start this second half with. We might be ran off the field. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And that would be really embarrassing. If Twitter was a thing like in this NCAA 14 universe, you know it would be getting flamed like crazy on Twitter right now. Michigan State fans will be fighting for their lives in the group chat. As now, Crocker dropping back, looking over the middle. Somehow is not intercepted. But because LaShawn Montgomery comes down with the catch, we do give him the fourth down. And listen, I like the aggression that North Texas is showing. They are actually going to go for it here on fourth down. And Crocker choosing to pass the football, and Stokes drops it. That was an easy fourth down conversion. Just a lack of concentration bails out our defense. And now we get our chance at the football once again. We've turned the football over 4 consecutive times. We gotta relax here. As now, down by 3 touchdowns. We'll see how much fight we have in this team. And what kind of resiliency do we have as a squad. As now, second and short coming up. Gray going to try to set up a play action for him. Facing some pressure though. Trying to get it out to the left-hand side. We had a open. And I was really trying to throw it to him, but Brandon Harper tracks us down from behind. And instead, it's 3rd and 11. Not where I want to be, but hey, that's where we are. As now, Gray looks over the right-hand side and has an incredible throw to Aaron Ford. Just threw it to a spot, and Aaron Ford got to it first. Now we'll see if our offense can really get going here as we go with Andrew Gray on the read option, and we get the face mask. Or at least that should be a face mask. Yes, sir. It's going to be okay. Okay. That's going to get us inside the red zone here. So second red zone opportunity of the afternoon as Gray looks right, gets it out to Mike Anderson, who picks up the first down. And it's going to be a goal line situation inside the 5-yard line. As now, 1st and goal. Gray looking over the middle, finds Leslie Johnson. Touchdown, Spartans. We finally get an offensive touchdown, first to 2-8 Mean Green. And that's going to make it a 2-possession game. But now we need our defense to focus up. 3rd down. Let's get him off the field. I'm trying to get another 3 and out going. As Crocker, he's going to, no, play action, attacking downfield, it's intercepted. Early Austin with the interception. Plus, we might get a face mask too while we're at it. And we do. Momentum shifting our direction finally. As LaShawn Montgomery is going to be called for the face mask penalty. So we're going to start the next drive out in North Texas territory. Let's see what we can do here as Anderson beats the defense deep downfield. And we're going to get a first down off of that. Is now 1st and 10 inside the 15-yard line. Tough yardage for Nelson Zisk, but that does make it a more reasonable second down. We're going to keep it on the ground as we'll run it again with Nelson Zisk, who finds a little bit more running room, enough to move the sticks and get us inside the 5-yard line. A couple more yards, and we're going to make this a 1-score game. Gray looks over the left-hand side, and it's Leslie Johnson again. Touchdown, Spartans. Let's go, baby. And that does end up marking 50 touchdowns on the season. It is now just a 1-score game. So now momentum quickly shifting in our direction. We're going to force North Texas to put some pressure on that offense, man. They were doing some good stuff in the first half. We'll see if they can find that mojo again. As after a penalty, it's going to be 1st and 15. But Andrews goes so far backwards, it's an 11-yard loss. That makes it 3rd and long. So all we got to do is don't get beat deep. That's all I'm asking. It wouldn't be crazy if we end up getting beat deep. I'm just saying, let's hope our offense, or not our offense, our defensive guys can get home. But instead, they're going with just a halfback draw. We can deal with that easily. Okay, they're just going to give up on the drive. And now we have a chance to go and tie this game. But they pin us deep in our own territory. We got a lot of work to do. Johnson starting to drive off with a jet sweep. That's going to be a 10-yard rush for the true freshman, as that makes it 1st and 10 as we go into the air for another 1st and 10 drive. Ross gets open downfield, and Corey Ross gets open right in the middle of that defense. 1st down, Spartans. Is now 1st and 10 again. Sisk running it. Gets it deeper in North Texas territory. This might be the drive where we tie things up, as they're now looking really sharp on offense. This is what I've been waiting for. And oh boy, are we going to get it? We got the block. It's a foot race for Andrew Gray, and he actually wins it. Let's go. Touchdown, Spartans. A 34-yard rush from our quarterback, and now this game is going to be all tied up. Let's freaking go. And now North Texas, they really are feeling the heat right now. 2nd and 11 coming up. Gonna be one of the last plays of the 3rd quarter, and we blow up Jeremy Jones in the backfield. So that takes us into the 4th quarter. We got ourselves a spicy one over here. It's going to be all knotted up at 24. Do we escape with the skin of our teeth so that we can go ahead and remain alive for the college football playoff? So here we go now. 3rd and 15 to come up here to start this 4th quarter. Isaiah Crocker feeling the heat right now. He's going to actually test the defense. Downfield, it's intercepted by Randy Bell. How about that? One-on-one coverage, and Randy Bell comes up and makes a monumental play. So that gives us the football back. Momentum definitely in our direction, as we did end up getting that free and out that we were looking for, and then some. So now our offense goes to work, and now we're getting Nelson Sisk more involved in the offense. That was something I wanted to try and do. He's going to get his name called a little bit more often. Corey Rossi does, you know, this play, you know, it should have secondary routes because, you know, we made the right read. The screen was covered, but, you know, NCAA for some reason don't like it when you run that, when you throw to that slant pattern. You know, it's not what they like to see. You know, they try not to see us be great, you know what I'm saying? But that being said, 2nd and 14, we just got to focus on that next play, though. As Sisk, he's actually got some space on the outside. This could be a 1st down. It does end up being a 1st down, and a little bit more as well. A 21-yard rush. And now, inside the 35-yard line, getting to the edge of field goal range. Gray looks right, gets it out to Mike Anderson. And how about that throw by Andrew Gray? That literally threw him open in that circumstance. And now basically a red zone opportunity to take the lead. Looks over the middle, finds Corey Ross, who makes the catch. And now just a few yards away from taking the lead. Let's see if we can make it happen on this specific play. We got space on the inside, and Anthony Thompson falls in the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. 28 unanswered points. That's all that needs to be said, and we have the lead with 7 minutes left to play in this 4th quarter. And now Crocker, he needs a score of his own. They have not scored this entire second half so far. We'll see if we can keep it that way, as Crocker runs it up the left-hand side to Jeremy Jones. He picks up a set of yards, gain of 6. As now, 2nd and 4 coming. We'll see if they go back to Jones. No, it's a play action for Crocker, but the sign to throw it away right away. But what is this? A penalty on us? They're calling pass interference on a defensive tackle? Are you serious right now? Man, that's crazy. So that's a 15-yard penalty for the collegiate level. and just absolutely being bailed out. That is a terrible call, but it is what it is. We just got to put ourselves in a position to where we don't have to rely on the refs, to make the right call every single time. As speaking of making the right call, how about early Austin keeping him out there in the secondary? Huge play from a freshman red shirt. So that saves a touchdown. As now, 3rd and inches coming. Crocker running it up the middle with Daly. And Daly gets that daily dose of his running action. 5 carries on a day for him. It's a first down. As now, Crocker drops back the pass. He's looking over the middle. He wants somebody to get open. Looking for that comeback cheese. Oh, it's going to happen. We're sort of on it, though, but we get beat deep with Sean Montgomery. After several seconds, finally gets open. And it's going to be a touchdown creating drive there. And now it's going to be all knotted up after the touchdown by Jeremy Jones. It's going to the final whistle right now. As here we go. 4:49 left to play. We've been doing so great here in the second half. Let's see if we can keep it going as we get it out to Mike Anderson right away. They sent the blitz, so that short pass ends up being a nice counter. It's now 2nd and 4 coming after the short pass play. We go to our tailback, Nelson Six, who gets to the outside, able to find some running room. It's going to be a first down for the Spartans. Sisk really improving himself in the second half. 70 of those 88 coming after the halftime locker room. As Gray looking to pass again on 1st and 10. He's going to throw a dot over to Corey Ross, and we're back in North Texas territory, looking to seize the lead, and a couple more first downs will at the very least get it into field goal range. But let's see if we can blend in a little bit of 2-minute offense here as well. As now 2nd and 5, Gray, they send the blitz, huge pressure, but we drop a great ball in for Wesley Johnson. We made sure it was catchable. And now it's a red zone opportunity, but facing 3rd and 9. Looks like North Texas going to send the blitz here on 3rd down. We're getting it out to Corey Ross, but Corey Ross ends up getting cut well short, and we had to settle for the field goal. 1:39 left to play. Can our defense make a dynamic stand? Crocker over the middle finds Sean Montgomery for the 16-yard catch. North Texas is going to go quick. They still have all their timeouts, but not a lot of football left. As Jones makes the catch. First down for North Texas. Gain of 5. But they still are not using any of their timeouts yet. Really interesting as we are down to that final minute. We'll see what they do here on 3rd and 1. Crocker looking over the left-hand side, and Brooks. Larry Brooks makes the catch, and now North Texas is going to use a timeout. And they continue to use their timeouts as time has become the essence. 1 timeout, 45 seconds left. Crocker can't take a sack. He doesn't, and gets it out to Sean Montgomery, but it's not at the first down marker. So that means they are going to attempt this really long field goal. We iced the kicker. Here's the game, possibly, to send it into overtime. The kick is up, and it's no good. No good. And we are going to survive by the skin of our teeth. We will win this game by a final score of 34-31. Close one. Alright, fellas, so this game was actually a whole lot more stressful than I thought it was ever going to be honest. I mean, this was one of those games where I really did thought that we were going to lose, especially given that disastrous second quarter that we end up having. And after that, it would have been really easy to go ahead and just pack it in, but this team did not do that. It went ahead, we won 21-0 in the 3rd quarter, and then in the 4th quarter, we was able to get that last minute field goal, which turned out to be the game-winning field goal, as our defense does just enough to make sure that we go ahead and win this game. Now, as for Andrew Gray, it was a tough day for him, particularly in that first half, as All 3 of his interceptions were, I believe, in the second quarter, but in the second half, he played significantly better, including engineering that game-winning drive. Now, as for the running game, Nelson Sisk found his rhythm a little bit more here in the second half, as he ends up with 15 carries and 93 yards to go with it as well. Andrew Gray did end up finding the end zone, and then fullback Anthony Thomas gets a little bit of love. He finds the end zone, and that helped us claw into the deficit that we faced to start the second half. As for our receivers today, not a lot of attention for our receivers, but Wesley Johnson is someone worthy of note. Eugene, Oregon product in his true freshman campaign continues to impress. Even though he didn't get a ton of yards for the air, he made 6 catches and 2 critical grabs in the end zone to help us get right back into the game. Corey Ross did also end up with some solid numbers, 5 for 87, and then Mike Anderson doing the same, 5 catches and 64 yards. Now for the defense, defensively it wasn't a pretty game, but we did force a lot of turnovers, and those turnovers did help us win this game ultimately, as Kenneth Wood led the team today, 8 tackles and 2 TFLs to go with it. Early Austin was also able to get 7 tackles to his name, as does Mike Scott, both of which also managing to sack the quarterback. Speaking of sacks, Kevin Williams was also able to do the same thing, as the Circleville, Ohio product was able to get his hands on the quarterback. Now finally, what was a huge deal for us was all of those turnovers that we had. Early Austin was fantastic. He was able to get an interception. Same with Randy Bell in one-on-one coverage. And then, of course, Greg Harvey got our first initial turnover of the game. He was almost able to go ahead and take it to the crib, but he did end up getting hit from behind, which does kind of suck. But, again, defense, while it gives up 31 points in this game, it does just enough to make sure we win the football game. So as we get out of our game against North Texas, we'll check in to see how Coach Jones is doing over in Mississippi State, as he's wrapping up his second season with the Bulldogs. And once again, a disappointing year that he's not looking for. They end up going 3-9 on the year as they wrap up with a home senior day matchup against Arkansas State. In Arkansas State, they take care of business, 45-13 being that final score. Mississippi State Bulldogs are now going to finish 3-9 with Coach Jones. That seat is going to get a little bit warmer. But speaking of that senior day, though, we are going to go ahead and celebrate our seniors in the next episodes. We will have our final game of the season. At least, in terms of regular season action, we will take on the Roadrunners of UTSA in the next one. And maybe if things get a little bit too out of hand, we'll perhaps take a little bit of a look around the NCAA in terms of how your guys are customs, that any new guys have signed. And in addition to that what is that top 25 poll looking like, as we are getting a more clear picture of the college football playoff. So you're not going to want to miss a single thing. It's going to be fun celebrating the seniors in the next episode, and I hope you guys are there for it. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have to be brand new. This is John J. Gaming on the mic, signing off. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.